Hello, in this video we're going to explain the custom fields in many contexts. We're going to see how they're configured within the tool, how they're used, and finally we're going to see how we can provide them through the Many Contexts API and thus integrate them into our application. First of all, what are the custom fields? They are a way to extend the functionality of the CRM, which is this panel here on the right that we have in each context. This panel by default has the fields with the name telephone, email, in addition to labels and notes. But what happens if we want to add more contact information such as the address? Because until now we couldn't, or we had to write it in the notes part, but now we can. To do this, we need to go to settings and custom fields and define new fields that will appear in that panel. One can be, for example, an address, another one can be, for example, a postal code. If we go back to the concept we had before, as we see on the right, the custom fields that we created previously have been added. These fields are in all contexts. We can say that the address of this company is Calle Corta number 1 and the zip code 28001. And for the next client, we can say that the address is Avenida González Robles 19 and the zip code 18400. In this way, we can store your address and zip code independently in each context. Additionally, many contexts can be used using the API. In the settings section under the developers tab, we have the API, and here we can see the documentation. In the documentation, there is a section that is to add or edit a custom field of a contact with which we can add information to a specific contact. We're going to use this contact that we call David from Granada. It is very simple. For this, we have to follow the documentation, and for each contact, we can add a custom field with a key and a value. For example, my custom field and a value, for example, testing. We submit it, and here I have my custom field testing. There's another characteristic that is that if we put a web page, an icon is enabled here to open.